So when James Gunn revealed that Peacemaker Season 2 would have a huge cameo reminiscent of the Justice League cameo in the first season, many began to speculate on who it could be. For a long time, I thought we could safely assume it would be Corn Sweat Superman. I mean, Peacemaker cameoed in Superman after all. And it still may be Corn Sweat Superman because Gunn has said that we can expect to see Superman again before Superman Man of Tomorrow. But I think the most likely place for us to see Superman again is probably in Supergirl, and hell, we might see him in several projects before Man of Tomorrow. We could definitely see him in Supergirl and Peacemaker and Lanterns and whatever else. Maybe not Clayface. Maybe Superman's not Clayface. So if it's not Superman, who could it be? Now, when trying to figure out who this cameo could be, there's also that multiverse angle to the show that we need to keep in mind with the quantum unfolding chamber doors to 99 other realities. The cameo could be us seeing one of these doors swing open, and hell, Ben Affleck's Batman could be standing there as a gag. Cavill's Superman, Momoa could be Momoa, but back as Aquaman. But my guess, and this guess is based on a direct quote from James Gunn, my guess is Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. Robbie's Harley was arguably the best part of that old DCEU. And in Gunn's version of the Suicide Squad, I'd say she was also like one of the best parts of that movie. And, you know, it's really a shame that she hasn't been given more of a chance to shine. But there's still hope because Robbie's Harley, I think, in fact, I will say I know, will be the new DCU Harley Quinn. James Gunn was recently asked about Robbie returning to the role, which he simply said, quote, "That will be revealed down the line." And I think this was totally him not wanting to spoil the cameo for Peacemaker. But beyond it potentially being a spoiler for him to confirm that she'd be back, there could be several other reasons that he's not quite ready to confirm it, because maybe he still needs to talk to Margot about whether or not she wants to commit to being the Harley of the new DCU for the next at least 10 years, because if he's going to have to recast the character within the next 10 years, then it's really now would be the time to just go ahead and do it. And if he did have to recast the character right now, he could still say, yeah, there's a new actress playing Harley in the DCU, but the story of Margot Robbie's version of the character is still largely considered canon, and they've just simply decided to recast the role. It's really not as complicated as everyone's making it out to be. But something tells me that if Gunn can get Robbie to agree, I think he'd be delighted to have her. The best part about James Gunn being willing to make pieces of that old DCEU canon part of the new DCU canon is that he can keep around great casting choices from that old era, like Viola Davis as Amanda Waller, and of course Rick Flag.
Hey, Flag. What the hell are you doing here?
In the most recent episode of Peacemaker 203, a good chunk of the first Suicide Squad movie where Robbie's Harley debuted, it was made canon to the DCU. I'm of course referring to the confirmation that Rick Flag of the DCU also dated June the Enchantress, and so that's all being brought over into the new DCU. So we already knew that the overwhelming majority of James Gunn's The Suicide Squad was considered canon to the new DCU. After all, that's where we first met Peacemaker. But now that the first installment, the first Suicide Squad, the third ever DCEU film, it is now largely considered canon as well, and that's huge. And here's the thing, Peacemaker, it is a gnarly show, very adult, very foul, and I love it. And Harley Quinn, Robbie's version of Harley Quinn, perfect character to show up for a cameo, because she would exist in that corner, the Peacemaker, Suicide Squad, Creature Commandos corner of the DCU. Hell, that animated Harley Quinn show is dirty as fuck, and it's great. So that's really what DC has been doing with Harley Quinn. They're making her more of an adult character and having her be kind of like a, you know, a Deadpool-esque character in terms of, you know, Marvel is very kid-friendly, but they also have, you know, their Deadpool type characters. So I think that Margot's Harley is definitely in that Peacemaker vigilante realm of the DCU more so than she is in the Superman realm. And really, she has become such a big character in her own right as part of this DC pantheon that she doesn't even have to be in that Batman wing where perhaps you would have expected her to be like 15 years ago. But then that all brings into question the Joker of it all. Now, despite Suicide Squad having large pieces of it now being canon, probably even the scenes with Harley and Joker and Batman, it won't have been Ben Affleck's Batman, and it won't have been Jared Leto's Joker. There's no way in hell they're reopening that can of worms, and I expect that we will get a whole new Joker for the DCU, one who will likely have had a new history, I guess, with Harley that we'll learn about. But like Harley says in Birds of Prey, they broke up. So really, they might not even have to have Joker and Harley all that connected. Where it would get dicey is if they canonize Pattinson's Batman and therefore his Barry Keoghan Joker. I don't know that this Harley and that Joker really pair well, but hey, maybe I'm wrong. Especially, if they don't pair well, we know they're broken up. Maybe that's why they don't pair well. So that could work. Maybe we'll just have to see. But I'm personally still leaning toward my preference, and what I'm hoping for is that Gunn will just allow Matt Reeves to complete his trilogy, but be, insistent that he completed in a timely manner, and then bring in the DCU Batman and the DCU Joker and have them be this like fresh new characters of the DCU crafted by Gunn and, other creatives that he has on his team. And then you can just have Harley's vague history with Batman and Joker be part of their history. Like, we can have it be the Margot Robbie Harley, and a lot of what we've seen her do still be canon, except for her involvement with that specific Joker and that specific Batman. I hope that makes sense. Now, the Suicide Squad, it might be my favorite DCEU movie. Hell, it might be my favorite DC movie. And I'm not quite ready to say that. I'd have to think on it. But because that movie came out like during the pandemic, and it was also released on streaming like at the exact same time as it was in theaters, I don't think it ever really got the flowers that it deserved. So I really hope that James Gunn will make a sequel soon in the new DCU and put Margot Robbie front and center and help bring back King Shark and Waller and Peacemaker and Idris Elba and the Rat Girl and some new characters or some of the Creature Commandos. I want Weasel to be part of it, or Phosphorus. That would be cool. It'd be great. So that's my argument for the cameo totally being Margot Robbie's Harley, and for her being the DCU Harley Quinn for years to come. And she's got a pretty great working relationship as well with Warner Brothers, especially after Barbie and its success. So I could even see her wanting to have like a producer role and like a creative role in terms of Harley's stories moving forward, which I think is important, because if Gunn is going to be the CEO of DC Studios and he's going to be running this thing like from the creative perspective, and then we have Safran doing the more like business side of the business. If Gunn's going to do that and be like the Kevin Feige, but he's also going to write and direct movies himself, something that Feige is not doing, then Gunn is really going to benefit from having other people that he can trust to say, hey, you shepherd this corner. I'm shepherding the Superman corner, and I'm also going to shepherd all of the DCU. But since my main focus is here, I'm going to give a vague what needs to happen here. And you, my trusted creatives, who I know will put out a good script and a good quality product, you take the ball and run with it. And I, James Gunn, will approve. I'll read the script and I'm not going to greenlight anything without my approval. But he doesn't have to be the sole creative force, is essentially what I'm saying. So those are just my thoughts and theories. I would love to hear yours down in the comments below. Take it to the bank, I think. Margot Robbie. Definitely going to be the DCU Harley, and I think could be the Peacemaker cameo, but we'll just have to see. Hey everybody, Colton here, and this is the mailbag style show where I take your questions about Marvel, Star Wars, DC, movies and streaming in general. Whatever you want to ask, send it in to the email address askcoltonnow@gmail.com, link in the description below. And hey, maybe you'll see your question featured right here on the show.
You're still here. It's over. Go home.